On August 19th, 2024, at approximately 11:59 p.m., Kyro was seated in the driver's seat of a silver 2019 Jaguar F-Pace truck near the intersection of 14th and State Street in Chicago, Illinois. What he didn't know is that the Democratic National Convention was being held that same exact day. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Tim Walz were all in town, along with a whole bunch of other important people. So the police presence was very high in that area. Unluckily for him, his Jaguar was parked illegally in a no park zone. A police car with its lights activated approached the Jaguar, parking directly in front of it. Kyro drove the Jaguar forward, striking the police car's front bumper. Kyro then exited the Jaguar, leaving it in gear, and ran away from the police. A second man exited the front passenger door and fled on foot. Kyro ran southbound on State Street and was pursued on foot by law enforcement. Kyro crossed the median on State Street, running into oncoming traffic and causing at least one vehicle to brake suddenly to avoid hitting Kyro and a police officer who was chasing him. When Kyro reached the sidewalk, he ran back onto State Street again, crossing the median and pursued by police. And again, running into oncoming traffic, causing at least one car to brake suddenly to avoid hitting Kyro and the officer. Kyro was then caught and taken into custody. Kyro possessed two firearms, one loaded 9mm Glock pistol model 19 Gen 5 with an attached conversion device, also known as an auto sear, aka that sweet cheese in your snip. A magazine capable of holding more than 15 rounds of ammunition, and a black laser attachment. He also had a loaded 40 caliber Glock pistol model 23 with an attached magazine capable of holding more than 15 rounds of ammunition and a black laser attachment. This gun, however, had a obliterated serial number, which is a federal offense. Also in the Jaguar, in the front passenger seat, were two other firearms, specifically a loaded 9mm Glock pistol model 19 with an attached conversion device, also known as an auto sear, and a Glock switch, and an attached extended magazine bearing the serial number. The fourth gun that they had was a loaded 9mm Smith & Wesson pistol model 9 bearing the following serial number. They also had an extended magazine in a black bag in the trunk of the Jaguar. A Minnesota license plate was also in the trunk of the Jaguar. Also in the Jaguar were two ski masks and a box of latex gloves. Some of the latex gloves had already been worn before. Kyro acknowledges that the Jaguar that he was driving was reportedly stolen from a dealership in Milford, Connecticut on or about April 4th, 2024. And this paragraph basically says that at the time that he had the firearms in his possession, Kyro already was a felon, and he knew this. Now, before I get into the new updates in the case, I just want to kind of process what everything that was just said right now. So, Kyro was illegally parked in a stolen car. The police turned their lights on, pulled in front of him so that he doesn't pull out. He tried to pull out anyway, crashing into the police vehicle. Once he realized he couldn't get out, he got out, ran, was eventually caught. His homie, who was in the passenger seat, that dude got away. That dude was never caught, or I don't think he was caught, because he's not a part of the indictment. But they ended up finding 4 guns, and 2 of which of those guns have switches on them. So these dudes had options. Like, when they run into a op, they gotta sit down and think about it for a second. Like, which one do I want to hit him with? The switchy or the semi? I think I'll go switchy today. I mean, if life gets to the point where you have to always ride around in a stolen car with latex gloves, ski mask, switches on you at all times, bro. Yeah, I think you should just move, bro. You gotta get out of that environment. It seems like Kyro had enough money to where he didn't have to be over there. But it's never really that simple, right? Anyways, let me get into the new updates. A couple days ago, Kyro has pled guilty to knowingly possessing a firearm while knowing that he had previously been convicted of a crime. Now, it says under federal guidelines, the maximum punishment for this could be 15 years of imprisonment, as well as a $250,000 fine. However, this is very unlikely that he'll get the maximum, considering he pled guilty and he has a pretty good lawyer. I was looking at the things that his lawyer was doing. It was pretty good, right? Like, His lawyer put in a whole bunch of dismissals, like trying to get the case dismissed at first. That didn't work because the prosecutors basically told the judge, like, look, this dude is a menace. He's been convicted of many, many crimes before. He's actually lucky that we're not charging him as an armed career criminal. And we caught him red-handed, so no, we can't let him loose. He's a danger to society. So the case dismissal didn't work. But anyways, what I'm saying is you could tell that his lawyer is actually fighting against what's going on. He's trying to do something, which was not an easy job because Kyro was caught with his hands in the cookie jar. He was literally caught red-handed. And some federal crimes have a mandatory minimum. This specific charge that he's charged with does not have a mandatory minimum. So coming in August 14th, that's his sentencing date. That will be the date that we know how much time he gets. I think he could come home that day on supervised release or house arrest or something like that. We'll have a little bit more information what they're leaning towards in July. They're going to have another court date, which is like a pre-sentencing date. Now, thanks to Chirac Rares and Chirac Humor, all these body cam footages are probably gonna come out, bro. Like every body cam footage in Chicago comes out eventually. So I feel like this body cam footage right here is gonna be a legendary one. This one's gonna be hilarious because if you remember, they said when he was running from the police, he ran to one side of the street trying to make the police dodge the cars, right? And then once he got to the other side of the street, he ran back to the other side of the street, trying to make the police get hit by the cars, bro, even risking his own life. So this body cam footage is going to be particularly hilarious. By the way, go watch my last video about Screwly G. Apparently he got arrested in Louisiana on some similar charges just like Kyro, bro. Go watch that one. But hey, man, let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.